So while I've been away, I decided to read a few books. Now, I haven't read any programming books in years, like probably 8, 9 years, mainly because I just don't tend to learn anything from them. My way of learning is to just go at it, do something, build something, get familiar with, the technology or the framework from just doing. But with being away and having a week to kind of relax, I finally read up on dependency injection in this case. Now, I obviously know how to do dependency injection, but I've always had this one thing with dependency injection that I feel isn't right. Something doesn't quite associate with dependency injection and non-web-based programs. So I kind of read the book on dependency injection to see if I'd get any answers there. Firstly, I really enjoyed reading it. Secondly, I did learn a few things, not much, but it kind of reinstated what I thought. And also, I get a lot of people asking about recommending books to read and, topics to read up on, as well as many things like practices, principles, things like, solid principles, agile workflows, all those kind of terms. And I've always said I'm one that doesn't know those. I never bother reading up on them, learning them. I just know from what I do. That I obviously follow those kind of principles anyway. They just come naturally. But again, now the audience is growing, I feel that I should spend the time to really read up on these topics, give you my opinion of them, so you know how I feel about them as a seasoned developer that's capable of doing these things already, and give you some guidance on, ones I like, ones I don't, as well as discussing certain topics in length. So I decided to start 2 mini-series alongside the main Blueberry project for a few reasons. One, I mentioned I'm enjoying reading the books. I'm going to start a season on books I'm now going to read, and then I'll do a mini review on them and whether I recommend them or not, and things in the book that I'd either watch out for or highly recommend reading. So as developers, you can pick and choose some books that I'd effectively recommend from somebody that already knows those situations and topics, and I can guide you in a way that I feel is appropriate for those. The second would be an explains series. So, me explaining certain topics, again, say, for example, MVVM or dependency injection. And the way I explain these topics is a lot more down to earth, flat and direct. I know these topics first, then I can read up on them in books and know what the industry says and what I'd normally do, and kind of give you a middle ground on this is what I think the technology is, or this is what I think the framework or the principle is for. This is the reasoning for using it, and this is where I'd use it, kind of pros and cons. Or maybe you've just simply got stuck on a certain topic and you want me to explain that topic to you. So both of these series will be short 10 to 20 minute videos that are one, reviews on books, which is kind of, you can recommend each time what books you think I should read or what topics you think I should read up on. For example, a lot of you know my stance on commenting, which is almost completely the opposite of what everybody else recommends these days. I highly, highly recommend extensive commenting. So perhaps you want to recommend a book that tries to persuade me the other way, and I can give like an unbiased, or maybe it's a semi-biased opinion, but I can give you my take on a book that perhaps counteracts everything I tell you to do, and you can get an honest opinion of why I do the things I do. Or maybe there's a book on something else you'd prefer me to read and give feedback on. So I'd like your recommendations on books to read, and then I can start doing videos on those. And on the other side, the explain side, I'm going to leave that up to you. So leave a comment in this video and say what it is you'd like me to explain. And I'll do drawings, diagrams. I'll link further reading into the video so you can actually look at what to read up on further. But I'll try and explain to the best of my knowledge any specific question or topic you have that you'd like to get answers on. Hopefully these 2 new series will be helpful with the Blueberry project, and if you get stuck along the way, because the Blueberry project is all about me building the application, it's about the real world application being built. It's not necessarily about teaching you every step of the way in between what I've built and where my knowledge has come from. So for example, we're going to use MVVM. Now, I'm not exactly going to spend weeks explaining MVVM because I need to build this project. But what I will do is explain as I'm going what MVVM is and how we're using it and putting it together. But if then say you're lacking that knowledge and want a deeper explanation, these kind of mini-series can jump off to the side and give you explanations to certain things I'm doing in the video perhaps. So I feel these 2 kind of series will work really nicely. It'll bring my knowledge into finally being able to talk about industry terms that I'm a big fan of not bothering with, like I'm saying, agile, solid patterns, principles of everything. There's so many principles these days. I'm not really bothered about those. I do them, I know most of them, but I've never read up on them. They simply come naturally when you develop. But the industry as a standard is the opposite way. Everybody loves to read things these days and give everything a principle, everything a name, call everything an anti-pattern. So I'm going to delve into that world and read up on it and be able to give my take on those new terms. And I'll be able to speak more industry standard terms with you guys. So it's mainly to benefit everybody and to know that I'm not missing out anything in the industry. But hopefully these two will be interesting. So let me know what you think. Leave your comments and questions. And if anything I do along this series helps you, please also consider donating to support what I do. I do this all for free now. It feels right. It feels like what I want to do. But I do need your guys' support to continue to do this for free because I'm not bothering to go out and earn any money. I want to do this as a career. This is kind of my drive and I'm loving doing it. But honestly, it does need to pay the bills.